How are you, man?
It's good. I'm good. It's been a while.
Do you know, I was thinking I think the last time was when I borrowed that bass to do that recording session, and then we went to the pub afterwards.
When was that?
That was
Oh my
about,
god.
well, I was still drinking, so it must have been.
Was that when I saw you at the Crown and Cushion?
No, that was the last time. That was when
Was
I
that...
just stopped drinking. Yes, your
And
sister came.
And your sister was there
My
as well?
sister was there. My
Yeah,
sister's
yeah. I
boyfriend.
remember.
And
That's
they
what I
got
remember.
fucking trashed.
Oh my.
Yeah.
God.
Yes, that was 8 years ago.
8? Jeez.
Yeah.
Mate, that's God. Hasn't
Doesn't it
time
go
gone
quickly?
fast?
You got married since then?
I got married about 5 years ago now. Yeah, 5 years ago in September.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
So what's been going on in the last 8 years?
God, in the last 8 years, since I met Laura like 10 years ago, so we've been together this whole time. We've been in and around the area,
Yeah.
and we've been just working our ass off in our band Coyote, and we've been doing lots of the circuits, the weddings, the corporate, and the festivals, and luckily the cruises.
Yes.
Laura's quite heavily involved with. She has like a one-woman show.
Yeah.
And now I'm part of that, which is nice. And we've also introduced our 80s show to the ships. So we now have 2 shows doing the ships, and we've been busy in the UK and and a lovely pandemic, whack in the middle of it.
Well, we'll get to that. But yeah, so every time I'm scrolling through, I think usually Instagram.
Yep.
You're either trekking through the Amazon. I saw you in, where else were you? Bali, Indonesia.
We in the last couple of months, we've only been back a week. We were in the Amazon. You're correct. We were also in Papeete,
okay,
and the French Polynesia and the Cook Islands, and then New Zealand, and then back into England. We worked it out actually in 2 months. We went around the world 1.5 times,
and that's all cruise ships.
That was on different ships, yeah.
Okay,
so we were in the Mediterranean for one, and then we went home for 2 days, repacked, and then went to the Amazon, Brazil, and then came home from there. We were home for a couple of days. We did a rehearsal, and then we were off in the Med again with the 80s show and the guys. And we came home for 1 day, and then flew to the French Polynese, which took 38 hours. It was, and then they put us on night 1 as well. So you can imagine it was.
Oh shit, man! How are you with flying now?
Fine.
All right.
Got a lot better. Yes, yeah. Oh man, we had the worst turbulence. So it was.
I remember that first. It was the first
trip to Bahrain.
Was it Bahrain?
Ireland? We went to Ireland once. And Bahrain.
It was Ireland, and you were fucking white knuckling on the fucking aeroplane.
It's gonna go down.
It's gonna go. It'll be all right. It'll be okay. But yeah, that's cool, man. No, it's amazing to see. Because I remember when you first started the Coyote band.
Yeah.
Because we were both doing the Oasis show, and then I think we both left around similar times.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
I think you then started that up, and I think you were just doing sort of the corporates and weddings and stuff, and you just sort of progressed onto the ships, and now you're fucking just touring the world on cruise liners.
Yeah, very fortunate. I'm so it's weird because it's like it's so fun, it's so great. But it's like the work isn't as it's not booked in as far in advance.
Right.
So there's always kind of like and we got to a stage where we were like, we didn't want to turn down a cruise to do a wedding, but weddings get booked first. So it's a real kind of, what do you do? So there's been a lot of trying to read the situation. Yeah. Trying to read the future, but you can never really tell where it goes. So we've taken risks and it's not worked out, but we've also taken some risks and it has worked out. I guess that's the fun of business, but
it is.
Yeah.
So, do you ever go out as an A and B band? Do you have like if you get booked for a cruise, you've already got a wedding in the diary? Do you think? Do you know
we don't have that yet. No? A friend of mine really said he really recommended that we do that because because it just makes things so much easier to have a bigger pool of guys who all know the stuff, and you can have a night off from time to time. I mean, at the moment, I really want to work because I'm back. And this last week, I've not done anything. I've got itchy fingers. But but when it's heavy in the summer or Christmas, normally when it's like I could do with a break, it'd be nice to have that option one day.
What's your December looking like?
Uh,
Same
rubbish.
here. Same
Really?
here. Yeah.
Do you know you're not the only person?
I know. I would say the same thing. Everyone's saying.
I
December's
bet
looking a
you.
bit
I bet you got more gigs than me.
I think for December I got 6.
Yeah, you got more gigs than me.
Yeah, and that's light. I'm like 6 gigs. I got.
Yeah,
It's weird.
I normally pre-pandemic we were 12, maybe 14 events.
Yeah.
Last year we did 2, and guess what? This year we're doing 3.
Oh shit!
And that's no, like, you can't read it. Like, you're like literally like, what, why, and how? Like,
yeah. I think maybe things are just a little tight financially, and certain people
Absolutely.
that would go out for and have a Christmas party, companies or people are just saying, no, we'll just stay.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I've heard what we're experiencing. I've heard a lot from people, agents as well. Just like a lot of people going for DJs and saxophone players now.
Yeah.
Because putting on a band, there's big, especially if it's a corporate event, there's bigger cost involved if they go for the full AV and tech. When it's simple lineups, and a lot of them opting for simple things.
I mean, I know lots of sax players and DJs that are got work coming out their ears. So
same. Yeah.
Maybe we should learn to play saxophone. But anyway, so when you're doing, like, you got downtime now, do you do what do you do? What find yourself doing musically?
So musically, for the last 6 months, I've been making a new show. Mm-hmm. So in my downtime, I'm literally where I am right now in my studio, and creating a new show. And the new show is my favourite genre of music.
Bryan Adams.
No, fucking dance music, man. I'm making a dance show.
Nice,
proper EDM, going from like 90s. We've already started the 90s section of it and all that, but 90s dance come through to current dance stuff.
Okay,
doing the whole DJ thing with a live drummer and obviously guitar in it as well, bass, synth. I want to get violin, and obviously Laura singing. Yeah, and it's coming together nicely.
Okay,
and I'm on like the final stretch, so the next stage is getting a new promo for it and building next. So I'm doing that at the moment, hopefully ready for next year.
Awesome. So when you obviously get the idea, like, this is what I want to do, because I know that I always found it I always enjoyed the fact that you weren't a guitar player who was just like, no, it's technique, it's this, it's Steve Vai, it's how fast can I play this? I was like, no, man, I'll listen to everything from Bryan Adams to EDM to Phonics, Oasis, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And you just kind of, good music that you're into is good music that you're into, and you've never kind of shied away from genres or anything.
No.
So when you come up with like a new show, when you're kind of like, you're at the final stages of it, like you're doing promo and then agencies, do you do it all off your own back?
Yeah, we do it all off our own back. So I'll this one's going to cost a bit of money, but I want to get the promo. We've learned so much over the years, and we know exactly what we want, and I've got a vision in my head, so I want to get that achieved. Then I'll take it to agents, and then I'll do the whole. We're redoing our website at the moment as well, so with the time we've got, we're getting that sorted out, so it's all ready, and then we're just going to put some money into advertising and just blitz like Ibiza agents and the dance scene with it, as well as what we're doing with this. And hopefully it takes off. I hope it does, because I really enjoy doing what I've been doing. So
and so how did you get into music? What was your first kind of steps, and why?
I've always loved music because my mum was like always had the radio on at home. And then at 12, my dad gave me a choice for my 12th birthday. You can either have £100, which £100 when you're 11 was like, whew,
that's all the money in the world.
Yeah, or we can go to a concert at Wembley Stadium. Okay. I was like, I'll just give the concert a go, and it's Bryan Adams.
Okay.
And it was 1996. And that experience changed my life, because it was like, I want to be like him. I want to be that. I just found it so cool, and I was just in awe of it all. And then I started playing the guitar, or picked up the guitar. Started. I think I learned "Run to You" was my first song.
Okay.
And the rest is history. Became a massive fan of him. I love Bon Jovi. And then I love the Goo Goo Dolls. So I loved American music.
Yeah.
Dance music was always around me, because again, my mum listened to it, and my sister.
Yeah.
But I like music that gets me feeling good, and all that stuff did. So that was my kind of introduction into getting into.
And when because both you and I think most of the people that I've had on here, we all started out and there was no YouTube. There was very little in the way of, I think, tab books maybe.
How did we do it? Yeah, it was books.
How did you do it? How did you?
So,
lessons.
I got to lessons. So, my mum's boyfriend at the time had a guitar, and that's why I had easy access to. I had easy access to a guitar because he had one, and he knew a couple of chords, and he showed me a couple of bits, and he showed me Run to You and D, A, and G.
Yeah,
and that got me started there. And I could only get the guitar out when he was home. He wouldn't let me take it out when he was at work.
Okay,
but I did, and I think they were like, "Look, if he's willing to get in trouble for it, we should get him his own." And the next Christmas, I got my own guitar. And along with that was this, oh man, I still remember it. This old school, like 80s looking guy teaching a book, and a video.
Okay.
And then, but I got lessons. I had a couple of lessons at school. They weren't really moving quickly because it was group.
Right.
But I got private lessons with a guy, and it just really, actually, do you know what? That helped. And I focused, but he actually said to me one day, and looking at it now, it's probably a good thing, but I don't feel that it was his point. But he said to me, I'm going to write down 3 reasons why you're never going to play guitar.
Right, okay.
I've still got that written down somewhere.
Oh, go on. What were they?
Oh, God, I can't remember the why, but it was just basically no practice. The way I hold the neck is wrong.
Right.
And poor technique. I was just like...
Thanks,
great.
man.
Yeah, but I'm like, it's just brought me my house, so he was wrong.
But
encouraged
what was
me.
His name? What was his name?
His name was Martin Gale. And he was local to Farnborough. He was actually, I ended up being in a band with his son years later. So it's kind of like, so with what he said, it pushed me. So although his intention might not have, I didn't feel his intention was to be encouraging. It was more, he was getting impatient with me, but it did make me go, no, I'm going to crack on.
Really? Watch me. No, who knows? Maybe that was his intention was to say,
maybe it was, yeah.
You're never going to do it because you're not going to do this, this, and this. And you'd be like, fucking right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
You'd never know. So, I think people, it's quite a risky game to play with people.
Especially kids.
Especially kids, because I don't think I would ever say that to a student.
No,
right?
same.
The reason you're going to fail is because you don't practice. You're holding it wrong. Yeah. So it's a bit of a risky game. But, and then where did you go from there? Continue lessons? You just kind of...
So I stopped with him during the summer holidays at one point, and I just kept at it. And he was ringing my mum saying, "Is he coming back?" She's like, "He's fine. He's actually happy doing his thing." And I got heavily involved with things at school. So I was always in like talent shows or the choir stuff. So I got into singing that way for the choir. And then I was in I was always in the chamber concerts and stuff. So I had a really encouraging music teacher, which was really helpful in the school days. And after school, I went straight to ACM.
Nice.
I knew that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to understand music. I wanted to just be better.
Yeah.
And I went. I was there the first year it opened in the Armourer building. So I think it was 2000.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was. I loved it.
Yeah.
I learned a lot. And then I did another year.
Okay.
Which was just more of a continuation from what I already learned. But it was fun, and
it was 2 years of your life, and you just got to hang out and play music.
Exactly.
And I think when I spoke to Mike about this last week, I think you, me, him, there's a couple other people that I sort of stay in touch with. I think we were there kind of at the golden era.
Yeah.
It was just the amount of teachers that were there, like who the teachers were as well was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So go on. Well, I mean, what was your experience going? So you did the diploma and then the higher diploma, or you didn't do the degree? Right.
No, I didn't do the degree. No. So the first diploma there was Jamie Humphreys. He was great.
Yeah.
David Kilmeister. Oh my God, he was amazing.
Yeah.
Had Guthrie Govan.
Yeah.
Eric Roach, rest in peace. Who else? Pete Friesen.
Okay.
I think he was my hero actually at that college. He the way he played and his general attitude was just amazing. Yeah,
he was a cool guy. I think we had him for LPW which is when you
Yeah,
have to
he did
learn the
LPW
song.
as well. Yeah.
We had him Monday and Friday. So yeah, he was a really cool guy. And he seemed to take to me a little bit, which was nice.
Yeah. That's what I felt. I felt like it was my name. They spelt my name wrong at ACM. They spelt it Brain, not Brian. So everyone knew me as Brain. And I'll be on the train going into town, and I hear this Brain. I was like, "Oh, all right, Pete." How you doing? It fell asleep, but saw me as we got off the train.
Oh yeah, he's a nice guy. He was cool. Yeah. So you did the diploma.
Yep.
Higher diploma.
Yep.
And then from there.
So from there, I got into an originals band, which I did for 6 years, which was, I'll probably still say the greatest days of my life. I loved it. A band called Big Wednesday. I was going to do a degree. I went down to inquire at the BIM in Dublin Brighton, and I did with Damon Keys. I spoke to him and Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
And they set a course up for me, and I was just like, do I want to learn more and get into debt? Because if I really, really want to do teaching and be a musician, from my experience of what I've been like from 12 to that age, I was like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And I decided to not do it.
Okay.
I decided to opt out, and I'm glad I did, because I did it. So,
and so you did a lot of teaching as well. Do you still teach?
No, I don't teach anymore.
Do you miss it? Do you enjoy it?
No. I do enjoy teaching, because I did enjoy teaching. Sorry, when you had the students that got it and that were really inspired by like things I did and my approach and how I explain things and how they progress with that information. It was I love that. That was really cool. But like anyway, with kids, some kids don't get it, and it's just harder to do.
Yeah.
But I didn't really enjoy it.
There are those kids that come up that can't clap in time.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. It's hard.
They're still out there.
They exist.
It is, but it was always something that I enjoyed doing.
Yeah.
Like you said, for the same reasons, it's really nice to see it when the penny drops or the thing clicks, and it's very, very rewarding. But you do have to take it with the kids that turn up that can't clap in time, and
it can
be tricky.
I taught at a school for 13 years.
Okay,
and I just fell out of love with it. I never missed it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So the way that you learn, I mean, if you had to do it all again, if you had to learn again from scratch,
oh God,
how would you relearn it? Like, how would you teach yourself? But if you retained all of your knowledge,
if I retained all my knowledge,
or let's say you got to teach yourself how to play the saxophone,
right?
How's the fastest way to get yourself back on stage with the saxophone?
You got to be on it like every day.
Yeah,
not just 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I mean, I was always told 10 minutes a day be fine. No, if you want to master it, you do. You have to give time to it.
Yeah,
and I think that's with like learning anything. I've learned that with production. Like I'd always dabble in it, and I wasn't getting results. But since again the pandemic, I did production courses, and I've given it hours every day, and my knowledge and ability on it has just got so much better.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a prime example. There was a skill that you were lacking in or didn't know.
Yeah.
But you've got to get it up to scratch.
Yeah.
So it's just turn up
time
every day.
Every day.
So
and you have to make the mistakes.
Exactly. I mean, there's so much emphasis. I've got one student at one school who's terrified of making mistakes. And I'm like, I want you to make mistakes.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, I can't make a mistake. I was like, well, what do you think is going to happen if you make a mistake? She's like, well, I'm going to get in trouble. I was like,
no. Man.
I spent a good 10, 15 minutes with her. And I just said, if you make a mistake and play through it, I'm going to speak to your teacher and I'll get you whatever it is, rewards you get, house points, colours, badges, stickers, anything like that. Whatever it is, the amount of mistakes you make and push through it, that's how many little merits you're going to get.
Yeah, reward you for the mistakes.
Yeah, I'll reward you for your mistakes.
Yeah.
But that's like the only way that you learn. Like I've started sight reading.
Right.
My sight reading is shit up until about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And I just turn up every single fucking day and read through as many different pieces.
That's great.
And one of the pieces in here actually said, these are little reading studies.
Wow.
And it says, do not play it more than twice.
Okay.
Do not play it on consecutive days, because it will force you just to sit down with a really long piece of sheet music and just read it. If you fuck up, don't go back. Just keep playing through it.
Keep going. Yeah.
Just make as many, just encouraging you to make mistakes. Don't memorize it. Don't commit it to memory.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm now taking reading gigs.
Amazing. Dude, you know, I have so much respect for people that read. When we do the Ships with Laura show, we have to take all the dots on for them.
Yeah.
I know the song off by heart because I see myself as I'm a performing guitarist. I'm not a pit player by any means.
Yeah.
But I have so much respect for those guys because they're talking a different language to me when they're communicating with the MD.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I couldn't do that. So
if they say, if you get midway through a song, they go, all right, can we just take that song again from bar 37? Are you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or do you just pick it up from listening? Okay,
I listen.
Right.
Yeah.
I know where I am now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So did you learn to read it? You must have learned to read at the ACM.
It was introduced to us, but I just didn't. I mean, I know what the notes are, but I can't do what you're doing. I can't.
Yeah.
And just like, I can't do that. I don't have the patience for that. I've never needed it. I've never needed it.
Yeah, I used to say all the same shit as well, and I would. And the frustrating thing for me when I started to do it is I can learn this quicker by listening to it and then playing it.
Right. Yeah.
And I've got to the stage now where I can read it as quick as I can hear it and transcribe it or transpose it on the guitar, and transcribe it on the guitar. But I said to Marlo, I said, "What is fucking amazing now? I just feel like there's a whole new world of music that's just opened up because I can open up the real book. Yeah. I don't know this tune, but I can muddle my way through the melody quite okay. And then I put the song on, I go, I get it now. Yeah. And it's just like you know when you get those little moments in music where you find that love and passion for it again.
Yep. Yeah.
This is that again. Amazing. I was getting really bored, like the function stuff, the wedding stuff. Post-COVID, it was just a run of fucking wedding gigs. And I'm like, if I got to play Mr. Brightside again,
I was going to say,
but when you start, like, even I was offered a reading gig yesterday at one of the hotels, which didn't come through.
Yeah,
but he said it's just an hour of ABBA and then an hour of pop songs.
Oh, yeah.
So he sent me the charts for the ABBA stuff. I used to do an ABBA show a couple of years ago, and I looked at the charts. I was like, yeah, I know that. I could do that. Mama, yeah, I got it. And I was like, it's weird because I didn't have to sit down, put my headphones on, get the guitar, and
give it
and play through it. I was like, okay, I could do that. Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, the only scary thing is all the road markings, the sign, the coda. It's like, oh fuck, what's that? Yeah. I'll listen for it. I'll just listen.
Yeah.
But I sat in on a pit gig for a friend of mine. Did,
how was that?
And fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And I said to him, I said, do you play everything to the note? He's like, no. No. He said, no. Once you know the song, it's like a gig. You just like, all right, it's just this something like this. I'll just do my own little thing. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
He said, I probably only do about 60% of what's written on the page, unless it's absolutely specified that I have to play what's on the page. I can just do my own thing.
Oh, sweet.
I was like, well, that's all right. Because I'm sure you had this image of when you do pit gigs or West End gigs.
Oh, God.
You have to play what's on. He's like, no, unless you specifically said you have to play what's on the page. You can do your own thing. I was like, oh, so it's more like a guide. He's like, yeah. I was like, that I can do. I can do that. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's cool. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
It's
So when's your next one?
Reading gig.
Yeah.
No, I don't have one. Nothing. Nothing in the diary. Yeah. I got the call for it, and I was like, yeah. He sent me the charts, and then he went, actually, my dep can do it, so he's going to do it. I was like,
oh, that's annoying.
But I said yes to it, so
yeah.
In my mind, I took it. So
yeah.
But yeah, so what's I want to go back to the ACM because I've had a lot of people.
Yep. Okay.
Because I really enjoyed my time there, but I've had a lot of people say that they thought it was shit. They think it was terrible. It was a waste of time.
When is that from our era?
Yeah.
Or is it more current? Or
no, across the board. But so, what are your thoughts on like music education?
There were a few things. It never really bothered me at the time. Honestly, I was just happy that I was in the environment that I was in, and I was learning.
Yeah.
But thinking back, I mean, like there was a couple of classes. I mean, one class, they just stuck on Spinal Tap. And I love the film, but I can watch that at home.
Yeah.
What
class was that?
It was. It was music business.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Put it on in the Wild Theatre.
Why?
I don't know.
What was the reason? No.
No, I honestly, I mean, I was 16 when I went to ACM, so I can't remember the exact reason why they played it, but it was Spinal Tap. You know, it's a comedy.
Yeah.
I don't really know how. I'd never seen it at that point, and it was funny, but I was just always a bit like, okay. But I loved, to tell you what lessons I did love. I loved the technical development.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the theory side of stuff I did enjoy. I love the performance workshops.
Yeah.
Because I realised that's what I love. And I was so shy back in those days. I would like, oh no, I don't want to get up. And I was always head down. Now, I want to get up all the time.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it. What else was there? Music business was good. And I did learn about, you know, how you've got to stand out in this industry. No one gets anywhere if you're just quiet in the corner.
Yeah.
You've got to have something about you to be remembered, something about, you know, you've got to be good. And just so you're on the end of people's, such and such. I know, you know, I learned that being there. I did enjoy it. I can't say I didn't. I mean, other than that, the first year, I can't complain.
Yeah. And so, like working on things like technique and development and pushing yourself and getting better, do you do that? Are you quite happy with where you are and you just kind of maintain it?
So, as a guitarist, I'm probably quite insecure with my playing.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a shredding player. I'm not I hate that. I don't like it. I'm not a fan of it. Don't get me wrong. Like you mentioned earlier that you enjoyed the fact that I'm not that Steve Vai. It's got to be like this and got to be, you know, I'm not that type of guitarist. I like being melodic. I like melody. I like feel. And that's just always been my thing. I'd always warm up. I'm always doing it. I've always got a guitar in the lounge, and I just sit there playing chords. I'm always doing exercises, keep my fingers moving all the time.
Okay.
Do I want lessons? Yes, I'd love to have lessons. I really want lessons. I've seen some guitarists that online. I'm like, I'd love to get some lessons, but it's like there's only, again, I need to give it time and time at the moment. When I'm creating something else, I find it quite hard to spread it, along with working and driving and being in late or not being in the country. I'd love to get lessons to get better.
Okay, so in terms of how would you define you as a guitar player getting better? If it's not technique and speed, where do you need to work on? What areas need work?
Oh, you see, I know my theory. I got knowledge on, like, I feel like I tick the box in everything that I do. So I know when I play for the song. I'm not playing with louds of volume or anything like that to try and be heard. Yeah, I feel like I'm quite a respectable. My approach to guitar and where it sits in a band, because I do the sound for us as well when we do our private gigs. It's all about the vocal, so I'm very respectable to everyone. What can I get better at as a guitarist? I know exactly what I want to get better at. I want to get better at blues. I want to get better at incorporating, right? It's basically back to basics. You know, your pentatonics and stuff like that. But I really want to get a better understanding of how to combine the minor and the major pentatonics to get that real kind of Mayer blues-esque to my playing. That's what I really want to get better at that. Yeah.
Okay, so who have you seen that you're like, that's the guy?
Oh, is his name Ross?
Scottish guy, Ross.
Yes, Scottish guy.
I want to say Campbell.
Yes, so he plays a red Strat.
Yes.
Yeah, him. I've seen him play.
He's a super tasty. Like Chris Buck as well. Have you seen him?
Chris Buck I did message him once, but he never got back to me.
Bastard.
Yeah, he's really tasty. He's really tasty. And there's another Spanish guy. I can never remember their names. I just know them from following
from Instagram.
Yeah, but I'm just in awe of these players. I'm like, I just want to get a better understanding from that.
Okay.
For what I just said, the major and minor pentatonic stuff, and combining the two.
So if, let's say, those two guys are not available and you still want to incorporate that, how would you go about it?
So if I had some time, say I've done my show and I want to sit down, I'll probably go online and try to go on YouTube and see what other people are doing.
So Robin Ford is probably the guy that you'd want to start at. I think those two players in particular, when you listen to them play, it's Robin Ford,
right,
all over.
Okay,
which is major, minor blues, loads of really slightly outside, diminished kind of stuff. But not so outside that it makes you want to throw up.
Yeah.
I
just want to understand it more. I really want to just be on top of it. So
I think. Go on.
Yeah. No. I feel like with general pop songs, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Like, again, I want to play something that makes me feel. But with the blues stuff, it's out of my comfort zone because I haven't done it for a long time. But when I hear it, I'm like, I really got to get into this, and I want to understand it.
I think the great thing about learning anything today is that you can just jump on YouTube and there's either a lesson, or more often than not, there's a course that you can take.
Exactly.
It's so fucking cheap. Like during the pandemic, I was having lessons with, do you know Carl Verheyen?
No.
He's a LA session player. One of the biggest LA.
Is he the one that does the TV show American Idol or something like that?
When you say do it, like do all the MD for it.
On the band on the show. I know there's one guitarist.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
He's quite an old school guy. Like he came out in the 80s, 70s and 80s. But it's like I'm fucking sitting down having a lesson with this guy, and it's like, not only that, he's like a really cool guy. And then he came over and did a show in the UK. He's like, "Can I borrow an amp?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay." So
nice.
So I took 2 amps over for him. He played this little church in town.
Yeah.
And he's like, "This is really sweet, man. Thank you very so much." I was like, "Yeah, no worries." 2 months later, I get a call from him and said, "Could you do a session for me?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Cool,
dude."
So, I was like, "Thank you for the pandemic."
Wow, so, that's really cool.
It was really fucking cool, and I am trying to get him on here, but we keep sort of missing dates and stuff. But he's a cool guy. Love it, like phenomenal player. But that whole bluesy rock and roll kind of thing is kind of his bag.
Right.
So go on, pandemic. I know you had a really rough fucking time of it.
Yeah. Like most, we were renting. We just moved into our new place that we moved into in Farnborough, and in the December 2019, and the year was looking great. Like all those years of momentum, the built up to 2020 was a great year. We had loads of cruises, loads of gigs already, and we were out the country for January, February, and then we had an emergency flight back at the first end of the first week in March.
Yeah,
and then it obviously announced what was going on, and and then like dominoes, all the gigs went for the next couple of months.
Yeah,
and obviously all that didn't stop for about a year and a half, 2 years, sort of thing. All the cruises went, and so we, Laura, and I, we stayed in the place for as long as we could, which was a year.
Yeah.
And it was like, do we spend our savings, or do we had the option of going back to her mum's in Kidderminster, Midlands. And we went back to her old bedroom, and I stayed there for 19 months. So we did the right thing, because coming out of it, we've now brought our own place, which is like great. But at the time, when you don't know when this end is coming, it was difficult. And because we both worked in the same job, it wasn't like one had an office job and we could rely on one wage. It was tough, man. Really tough.
Well, I'm glad that it's all kind of finished and over, and you're back on your feet, man. Because I remember seeing like posts like, "We're getting kicked out. Is there anything we can do? Like, what's the legality?" And fuck, man, this is really rough.
It was.
It was one thing for because we'd just moved into the house we're in now, which has a little garden, and I just remember that summer I had a fucking ball. Yeah, because the summer, it was just every day was sunny. We had
it was so nice.
Balls. It was beautiful. We had family dinners every day. It was we actually had a really fucking good time. Good. But when it all came back, it was I was acutely aware that there were people having a much harder time of it than we were. Oh yeah. But I'm glad that you're back on your feet, man. It's always awesome. awesome to see some of the pictures, like mildly jealous. Like, look at them. They're traipsing through the Amazon, motherfucker. But
that was a good trip.
Any plans for kids?
No, none yet.
No.
So no, I think again, doing what we do, it's really hard because if we have a kid, everything stops.
Yeah.
And it's like, what is the right thing to do? It's really difficult.
Well, you don't know what the right thing is. I think it's if you want kids, you have kids and then you figure it out. But I don't suppose it would be unheard of.
No. We know people. We know people that are like it. That have children and they work together and do what they do.
Yeah.
But it's alien to us, and so
yeah.
I guess
you could always take them on board.
Or just get rid of them. Throw them overboard. I'm joking. Yeah.
Yeah. So how is it working and living with your wife?
It was hard at first.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, it comes with complications. The amount of people that work with us and or outside of our industry that my friends will be like, God, I can never work with my missus, or they say I can never work with my fella.
Yeah.
And it's like, it works for us.
Okay.
It works because it's all we know. And don't get me wrong, it entertains different kind of problems. But I tell you what, before pandemic, we were working so much that I feel like our marriage or relationship was mainly like work, and relationship. In pandemic, I got to be honest, I was a bit like, this is going to be interesting to see where
relationship
this
goes.
overtakes. Because the work was like gone.
Yeah.
And do you know what? We became so strong together, and at the end of it, like we can get through that together and be this.
Yeah.
We can get through anything. Like
cool.
This is really cool. So I find it fine. It comes with complications, but I think every couple has their niggles with each other.
Certainly fucking do.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And
the key thing though, I've learned is you just have to keep in communication with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good advice.
Yeah.
And so cruises coming up? Anything coming up good?
So we've the last trip we did was we got back last week. That's for this year, but next year starting February.
Okay.
Back on with the 80s show, and so far we've got cruises until about May time.
Okay.
So I mean, we've got like gigs at home, in and out. So yeah.
Nice. Is that something that you always wanted to do, or is it something that just kind of fell into your lap?
Fell into my lap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy doing them?
Yeah, I do, because I love traveling.
Okay.
There's bits of it that I don't like, but there's the shows in itself. Like some of the shows we've been doing on the bigger ships, the theaters are so big, and you get all that production in your show.
Yeah.
So whether it's our 80s show or Laura's show, it's literally like, I had one of my best shows of this year back in October on one of the bigger ships. Because everything was just great. The audience were great. The lighting and sound, it was just magic, and it's huge.
Okay.
The traveling's hard. The traveling's hard, especially when you're flying to the other side of the world. But that's not all the time. That's the first time we've ever done that in all the years I've done it. But it's and the anxiety of putting guitars in a hole's always a bit of a tricky one.
So do you take specific travelling guitar, like guitars that you're happy to travel with? You're not taking.
So for the 80s show and with Laura's show, the Les Paul is the guitar. I tried to use a Telecaster once, it just wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I had an experience with one of my 335s where I went to Scotland once and the neck snapped before the gig. So you can imagine that was like shit. And I was like, I'm not putting one of my custom shops Les Pauls into the hold, but I thought I'm going to buy a Les Paul that's actually for this, and I don't have any heart attached to it, anything like that.
Right, you're right.
And I brought a nice flight case, solid flight case, and touch wood.
So far,
I've travelled a lot, and it's been fine.
Okay, and what onboard gear? What's that like these days?
Well, I now take, if they have an amp, it's brilliant. They usually have like Fender amps on there, and they sound great. And then, but I take my little pedal board with me, and I don't use a digital box or anything like that. I actually got a little pedal board like this. I've got my delay, reverb, and a channel selector.
Yeah,
a Freeman one, and I just use that, let that do the work.
Okay.
And some ships don't have amps, so I've got to take I've got like a little DI thing
Okay.
that I use.
How does that set? Like, so you don't use an amp modeler? You just DI
No.
straight into the desk?
No. So I go out of my pedals and into this DI. It's like a little amp modeler thing. Yeah, it's like
okay.
I think it's called Amplify. I brought one the other day as a backup. This one.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I haven't used it yet, but I'll plug that into a DI and then it's all on ears.
Go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And do you know what? Like listening back up front when I see the videos back and stuff, this guitar sounds great.
Mate, I can't.
So I'm like, wow.
I can count on one hand how many amps I've used this year.
Really?
I just can't be bothered to lug a fucking.
No.
I mean, I've downsized to just combos, 1x12 combos, but even that, I'm like,
yeah.
Well, I could take this combo that's this big,
we could carry some.
Or I have a pedal board which is this big,
yeah,
that has a little box on it.
Yeah.
And all right, fuck it, I'll just do that.
Yeah.
I'm never 100% happy with the sound that I've got the Helix.
Right.
I do prefer the amp, but I'm like, but when it comes to pack down, it's just I pull 2 leads out, zip, and I'm off.
Yeah.
So I just do that.
Since getting that DI thing, that little box thing for the ships, I was like, I'm going to use it on our gigs, just so I can get used to it.
Yeah.
And I've not used an amp, same as you, for so long now.
It's strange. But when you do use it, you're like,
oh yeah,
this is why I want to play music.
Yeah.
But it's cool. So the other thing I always ask people is when you're obviously doing music full time, you're playing, you're rehearsing, you're learning.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever get like resentful towards music? Like, I can't believe I've got to learn this fucking song, piece of shit. I've got to do this again.
Yeah, only when it comes to weddings.
Right, okay.
And because what annoys me about weddings, because I do the liaising, which is like with the clients, and sometimes the clients are like, "Oh, when do we pick the sets?"
You don't.
And I'm like, no. I said, I always this is bad, and maybe I shouldn't say it on here, but I'm like, yeah, we love suggestions. So send your suggestions, and we'll consider them. And basically, I get the email, and the email goes straight into bin. Because I'm going to play what we know is going to work.
Yeah.
And but yeah, sometimes they want like first dances. I've said no to them before because I'm like, this isn't going to sound good. They wanted us to do My Way once, Frank Sinatra, and Laura doesn't sing that low.
Yeah,
it just wasn't going to work. So I just said no.
We'll just play the song.
Yeah,
play the original song.
Play it with the PA. Yeah. It's when it comes to weddings, I get a bit like, for God's sake, but if it's for our 80s show or for the dance stuff or anything like that, I'm doing what we love.
Yeah.
Like the 80s show, we do all the songs we love to do, not ones we feel we have to do. We don't do like Aha or anything like that. It's all like epic and loud and big and
Do you
fun.
ever find that your love for the song starts to diminish?
Some songs do. The 80s set hasn't done that to me yet, and I've been doing it 6 years.
Okay.
Which is good.
All right.
I do enjoy doing it. There's probably when we do the 80s set and we're at home and it's like a wedding, we might throw in like Faith or Walking on Sunshine. That they actually get me.
Right. Yeah.
But they always get everybody up. But they're like the most boring ones to play.
Weird, isn't it? People still go fucking nuts over Valerie and Mr. Brightside. It's like,
right. It's
been
the same
20
thing.
years. Come on.
I know. But when we do them on the ships, because we're doing a 45-minute show, so it's the best of everything we do.
Yeah.
And because you got all that production behind it and everything sounds big, it's like I don't get bored of it because it's like the best of the bunch, and there's a bit more of. It's not a wedding; it's a show. So there's a lot more about it that's more appealing to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
And is there like if you weren't doing music, what do you think you'd be doing?
I'd probably be in a grave. No, I don't know. What I do if I like music? I'll be selling, mate. I'll probably be working in Dixon's selling TVs.
Dixon's hasn't been around for a good long while, man.
Oh, I did work in Dixon's though when I was 19. Before I went to McDonald's Music, Tim.
Let's touch on McDonald's Music. How was that? Because we never actually worked there together.
No, I took over you. I think you
Did
left to do Oasis.
No, it's one step behind.
Oh, one step behind.
I did one step behind first.
Yes, that's okay. And then Jonathan McDonald called me up. I was like, got a job for you. I was like, finally.
How was that? Because were you there when they moved from the high street to the little?
Just when they moved, yeah.
How was that?
The move. Yeah, it was.
How was working in a music shop?
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it did the job for where I was at in my life at that particular point, which was at that age. I was just about, I was in my band playing gigs, but I was just about girls partying and like just earning peanuts really I think some of those weeks there I got paid in cash and the cash was like a bag of coins. You know what I mean? like
okay.
Yeah, it was a bit, but it was cool. I'd more of a laugh there than I did, knuckle down and be serious salesman.
Yeah.
How'd you find it?
I thought it was all right. I enjoyed it. It was nice to work alongside other musicians.
Yeah,
because that was the first time I was exposed to like other musicians, particularly people who played other instruments.
Yeah.
So there was Chris who would brass and woodwind, and I think Laura played violin, cello, and John seemed to say he played everything.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it because I was the only musician that I knew. None of my parents were musicians. No one else played. None of my friends played. So
it's nice to be in an environment.
When I got here and everybody played, it was like, oh, okay, so what do you do here? And I always used to bug Chris. I'm like, so what do you, if you had to improvise over this chord progression, he's like, oh, fuck off. It's in G. No, but D's the tonic, so it's actually D mixed in. I was like, fuck off, guitarist and modes.
I remember the pure disappointment on Chris's face when he used to have Mondays off religiously.
Yeah.
And then Mondays, I'll be in charge, or I'll be running the shop with my mate Jay.
Yeah.
And we just did nothing. We just messed around. And then Chris would come in on the Tuesday and just be like, oh, what have you done now? Getting angry, like two little kids messing up.
I don't know why the fuck you two were put in charge.
Well, John was running his TV show, so his TV channel, wasn't he?
My God,
so it was only us three in the shop. Chris, me, and Jay.
The M channel.
The M channel, yes.
What the fuck happened with that?
I remember being on it. I was on it for quite a lot of it. With the band I was in, which was good. What happened with it? It just fell under, didn't it? It just. I heard that I think John got booted out, and then I think the company just
fizzled out. Because he'd started that up.
He did.
When I was there, and there was this whole level of secrecy. Like everyone that worked there, apart from, well, no, it was. Yeah, I think nearly everyone that worked there, with the exception of me, because I was on the way out, all had to sign non-disclosure agreements. You weren't allowed to talk about it. You weren't allowed to discuss it. And I was like, oh, this is serious shit. And then I remember seeing you on the TV. I was like, there's Brian. He's on the TV.
I know it's quite weird because when I was working there, like these kids would come in and be like, that's him. That's one. And I was like, oh, what was that about? I used to get really paranoid. And then I realised they saw me on the channel.
Yeah. That's strange because that must have only been live for like a couple of months.
I think it was a bit longer than that.
Okay.
It was a bit longer than that, but it just, I guess it stopped having an impact and stuff.
I mean, that was pre-YouTube, so I mean, I think that's a fucking great idea to have a music channel, music education channel.
Yeah, it's all filmed down at Maystone Studios. It's really cool.
Yeah. I mean, hats off to him for giving it a crack. And I guess, well, when did I leave? That would have been early 2000s. When did YouTube drop? 2005, 2006?
Yeah, I think you left about 2003.
So,
maybe 2004.
Couple of years before YouTube. But then YouTube didn't start getting educational. 2009, 2010, I think. He was almost a decade ahead of it.
Yeah.
Bless him.
It's a shame.
Mate, I'm going to leave it there because my daughter's going to be coming home from school soon.
That's cool.
But it was so cool. So cool to hang out, man.
Yeah, likewise. And good to catch up.
Are you guys around all December and January?
More or less. Yeah.
Okay. I don't suppose you're going to see The Used on Thursday, are you?
I'm not. No,
No,
I've got a gig on Thursday.
I'm taking my daughter. One of the 3 gigs you've got.
Yeah.
I'm taking my daughter to see The Used on Thursday.
How cool!
Yeah,
I hope they play Taste of Ink.
I hope so too. Yeah, I've taken her to see Bring Me the Horizon twice.
Nice.
And she loves it. She's fucking great.
Oh, that's great.
She's a little metalhead. So
Nice.
It's really cool.
Nice. Oh, cool. Well, have fun.
I will do, man. But yeah, if you're around, we'll see if we can maybe get together.
Yeah, cool. We'll be trying to plan something in town. So
Okay.
For drinks. So if you can fancy coming down, we'll let you know if it's happening and go from there.
Will do. Let me know.
Cool, man. Take it easy.
Mate, it was a pleasure. I will see you later.
See ya.